Hi, how's it? In the name of Christ, how you doing? It's your girl Cake, Karabo. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're Stella, and I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, welcome to the party, as that's just not the story of our lives. Today is the 6th of January, 2025. I have to get used to saying that. It's the 6th of January, 2025, and it's kind of rainy outside. Okay. Yeah, okay, so in comparison to yesterday, I'm very flat. I was very jocose yesterday because the stuff that I saw was laughable, but not so much today. I'm just worried by sexual attacks, like sexual abuse. I can't, like, I did a video the other day speaking about men and how they just insist. They have no boundaries. They have no care for how inappropriate something is. They just throw themselves in. So I proper don't even know what in the world to do. So I guess the topic of the day will be carry on and let's see how this ends for you. Carry on and let's see how this ends for you. You know, I'm wary of repeating myself. Yesterday I told you guys about a dream that I got of some woman trying to infiltrate witchcraft into my life, make me experiment, use spells. And she said that, why are you always wearing the same skirt? I forgot to interpret that portion of the dream as I was interpreting it in my yesterday video. It was basically her saying, you keep on repeating yourself time and time again, try something new. Yeah, well, the redundancy or the repetitiveness of my person, as I share here, is only because of the redundancy and the repetitiveness of forces of darkness, of people that belong to Satan. They do the same thing, like over and over and over again, like in a very unyielding capacity. It's almost as if though they just feel that if they can hammer something down enough times, it'll eventually work. It's like perhaps they feel like when they just keep repeating the same spells, it's like the tantamount of hitting a piñata. You just hit it and hit it and hit it, and at some point it's gonna break and out will come some sweets. Perhaps maybe that's what's going on over here. But you see, a piñata is an inanimate object created for no other purpose but to be beaten with a bat that sweets might come out. A human being, on the other hand, when they keep on getting repeatedly beaten with the same blows, they develop a hostility. They develop an anger, an irritation, a hatred. People develop a hostility, an animosity, a hatred. They don't snap out of their convictions concerning what rubbish you are. All you do is make them avoidant of you. You know what? Like, it makes so much sense that hell should be a place that is for eternal torment, because people, when they were still living here, were perpetually tormentive of other people. I don't know how many times I can say this. I find it naive, like exquisitely, for anybody to believe in witchcraft but not believe in God, because this stuff is just so destructive. And they can't not be somebody regulating it. There can't not be somebody making sure that it just doesn't do the most. How in the world do people learn of evil and then think that there is no good? I mean, it really does baffle me. It confuses me. It throws me aback. It's all very confusing. Like, issue. I dreamt, okay, so a couple of nights ago, I had a dream where I was in sleep paralysis, and the guy from America, who's a stalker, if you've been watching me for any season of time, some dude I was with for 5 seconds, and then he decided that he's going to follow me around for the next couple of years. I was in sleep paralysis in this dream, and he crawled into my bed while I was in sleep paralysis, and I just kept saying in my heart, please don't rape me, please don't rape me, please don't rape me. Since I couldn't move, I couldn't run, and by the grace of God, he didn't rape me. In my dream, he left me alone, but he was still following me around. Well, last night I had a similar dream, but this time, instead of the guy not raping me because I asked, he just went in for the kill. It's like their sex dreams are getting more extreme, and I don't even know what to do to myself anymore. The sexual harassment is exquisite amidst occult practitioners. It's really bad, and I have no clue under heaven why this stuff is not regulated. I have no idea. I just absolutely don't understand it. This guy raped me in my dream, and I don't get raped in my dreams. I've only ever been raped once, long ago, and now recently, and I don't know what it is about witchcraft that ultimately rapes. I don't know what they do to achieve that in a Christian's life, but it's some hella desperate sorcery, and you're not gonna believe who raped me. It was some carpenter, construction worker that has been working for my mom for years. Every so often when she wants stuff done, like cupboards, when she wants basically just carpentry done, she calls him. We've known him for years. And recently this guy was here changing up cupboards in my mom's kitchen. And I every so often, I humor people that are on the yard. I talk to them. Hey, how are you? Good, whatever. This dude offered to jumpstart my car. It wouldn't start, it needs a battery. So, right next to his construction vehicle, him and his boys tried to jumpstart and boost my car using their car. It didn't work. And I'm content with that, because I will, in due season, when the Lord awards me an ability to buy a battery, then my car will move. Okay, so I'm not really worried, because I don't go anywhere. And when I need to go, I use my mom's car. It's like a once in a whatever, like a blue moon experience. So I'm not frying in my heart and in my brain over the prospect. I'm not bummed, essentially, about the fact that my car is stuck on battery, and I'm also not in a rush to correct the circumstance. I've got money right now, and I can fix my battery, but I don't want to, because I'd rather use that money for something else. Because I'm not, like I said, it's not an urgency at present. But you see, that's just the thing about exploitative people. They will literally lurk around and look for anything that can enable them to get a sliver in, like a word in. And they'll run with it without even knowing what kind of a priority level it is for you. Without even understanding what is your priority level concerning it. Like, if you are not bummed about it, you're not fazed, you're not perturbed, you're not moved. Like, there's nothing in you that feels like this is really just the bane of my existence, what's going on with it. But they'll just speculate. They're like scavengers. Like, I kid you not. These worthless men are like scavengers. They need something to be dead in order for them to go in for the kill. They need carry-ons, dead carcasses, on the side of the road, the side of the street, in the wilderness somewhere, that they might be fed. Otherwise, they don't really get anywhere. And you know what's funny? This freak years ago, because remember, he's been working for my mom for years, maybe like 2 years ago. I got yet another dream. Like, I got a dream when he was again here helping my mom with something. She was changing cupboards again or whatever, I don't know, some carpentry that my mom needed done. And in that season, when he was here for a couple of days on the property doing that construction work, I get a dream where he's just all up in my grill in a very licentious capacity. And I knew what that meant. I knew what that dream was, but it was just so far-fetched and so bizarre. The thing that this guy was trying to do, that I didn't even give him a mention, it was not worth it. But every time he comes here, he feels nkare agashela. Listen, this is his mindset. Hana bophelo. This guy has been around for years. Like I said, he saw like when I was still living in Four Ways in my apartment, he was around. One time my mom brought him to the place where I stayed in order to help her carry stuff or whatever. Like there was something that was needed to be done, and he therefore saw my apartment at the time. So basically at the beginning of my sorrow, this dude sort of kind of saw that, okay, there's something up going on in this family with this woman. And he was just like a fly on the wall, watching these things, helping my mom along. And ever since then, he's only ever observed me suffering. He's only ever seen me struggling, like basically going nowhere. Years have progressed. He's my age. I didn't get married, nothing. And so he just figured, I'll take it. What the heck? What makes you think I want you? I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what, men? Like, let's have a discussion, okay? Can we just have a discussion, a conversation, seeing as you encircle my ministry? We're gonna talk. You're full of rape. Okay. God created Eve for Adam. And when Adam woke up, he said, this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She was the first person to talk. Eve was just standing there. And Adam was like, this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And then he named her and called her Eve. Essentially, he made it clear that he was interested in her. He spoke. Oshedzi. It's what I'm getting at. Ever since Adam, women have been logs just lying around, trees just standing around, waiting for men to walk to them and be like, tree, do you mind if I cut you down and take you to my house and make you a table, an ornament, a bed, something that is just going to be my furniture? It's your prerogative. It's your prerogative, and literally the ball is in your gangster court to go up to a tree and ask it if it is okay, if you should chop it down. When Adam woke up from his slumber after God created Eve from his rib, he was the first one to speak, albeit Eve I haven't been standing there that entire time, likely. Probably watched Adam take out the toko from his eyes, wake up from his slumber. She was probably just looking at him with curiosity. And who spoke first according to the scriptures? It was Adam. He said, this at last is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I will name her woman. She is a woman, and I'm going to call her Eve. The guy even gave her a name, like a baby that is born. It is inherently comprehended, therefore, in the male species that when you wake up, when you pop open your eyes in the climate of a standing tree that is a woman, just gazing at you, merely walking around in your environment, prancing these streets, when she is frequenting the office building where you work, and you say in your heart, this at last is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She's a woman, and I'm gonna call her Eve. You're supposed to freaking speak. Right now you're slapping women with sign language, with reverse psychology. You are slapping women with spiritual manipulation, with harassment. You are supposed to open your damn mouths and say, This at last in her face is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. So when then you happened upon, when you discovered witchcraft, just the fact that the stupid stuff makes you literally like get using some kind of spawning and fair, what do you think we're animals where you draw attention from a woman using pheromones? Is that what we're doing? You just ooze something around mating season, and so it's sort of kind of understood that means I'm good. This is game. You can go in for the kill. Do we ooze pheromones? Do you seriously think that like animals we ooze pheromones, and that's enough for you to just pounce on us without freaking speaking, without talking, without opening your damn mouths, without saying a single thing? Halisheli, you are animals, and I've been saying it time and time again that you are very similar to animals, because they're the ones that go and mark territories with urine and everything. Saying of a woman, you will never ever be with anybody else because you are mine, using witchcraft. Saying of a woman to a woman through spirits in dreams that I'm gonna finally sleep with you, by making her sleep with you in dreams until she's attracted to you sexually in waking life. And so there you've gone, raped her in waking life. Saying to a woman, you're gonna like me, and so you induce feelings in her using witchcraft. Using witchcraft. You're gonna like me, using witchcraft. Like, it baffles me. Do you know that the world has always had whores? Do you know that the world has always had prostitutes? Do you know that the world has always had loose women? Low-hanging fruit. Yeah, even before witchcraft. So your desire to sleep with just about anything that has panties is easily satiable, is easily satiated. Insofar as you go out there and basically go, experiment at the bar with some woman there, you might get lucky for the night. Like, believe it or not, it's been happening for a minute without you having to manipulate her spiritually. You could talk to a woman in the office, and she could actually go to the car with you during a lunch break and have a quickie. Like, it's a thing. So when you want sex, you do know that history has it that all that men have needed to do to sleep with women is just experiment anywhere where they're at and see if one might be prepared to have sex with them out of wedlock. Just fornicate right there. Literally, there is more of them where they come than where they come from. There's so many women prepared to just lay with you unfettered just because you asked. They don't even have to be prostitutes, just happy to be loose cannons. But where they say no, that's when gentlemanhood, that's when decency, that's when being a man comes in. Let go. Because when you try to make whores out of women who under normal circumstances are chaste and they keep to themselves, you are destroying society. So just the fact that you can spiritually manipulate women with witchcraft to make them whores, to just have sex with you, for you to burp, for you to experiment with that, and then you say, Hana motumus, Hana bopelomus, Hana moyangmus. There's nothing else she's doing, but I find her sexy, I find her pretty, so I'm gonna make her want me. I'm just gonna take her. You are barbarians. You are animals. And you are rapists. And I have no clue under heaven why this stuff is not regulated. There are enough whores in the street that are happy to sleep with you on a one-night stand after meeting you 2 minutes ago. Try them if you really cannot hold your horses. But have enough manly decency, to let women that you experiment with, when you talk, like open your mouth and say, hi, Karabo, how's it? When she's like, I'm not interested. Have enough manhood in you to let go, seeing as there's so many of them to go around. Whores, that is. Seeing as literally the next one will probably say yes. There are more than enough loose women for you to not feel robbed when the one woman that says no, says no. Given that some of y'all are all up in my grill, thoroughly, only trying to have sex with me. You are trying to put me in a hotel room. You are trying to make me your mistresses. You are trying to make me your side pieces. You are trying to experiment. You think that like a freaking pinata, you can just beat on me and beat on me until ultimately sweets will come out from my nether regions. And you're then gonna get to eat. I apologize, I'm sorry. Black men, it is the reason why. First and foremost, I'm leaving South Africa, and secondly, I'm leaving the black community when it comes to marriage. Like, I can't. I'm sorry, you are so coercive. You don't take no for an answer. You are full of rape. And what's worse is that sometimes even when you're super taboo to be pursuing a woman, you don't care. What the heck is my mom's carpenter doing? Raping me in a dream. He looked at my circumstance, my situation, and figured that, I'm most done. That's always the terminology, most done. Basically, this man has just been observing. He's just been observing for years, frequenting. And 2 years ago, he slapped me with similar witchcraft. But there was nobody groping me, touching me, nobody raping me. He was just all up in my grill, in my face, trying to kiss me. I didn't even speak about it. Because I knew that once his little project, Light Jardin, is over, I won't see him for months, maybe years. Well, he came back again recently. My mom has been doing a whole bunch of construction work, and he's like, she's still stranded. So to him, I'm just any good old-fashioned nether regions of a woman. I'm just breasts walking around. I'm just buttock walking around. I'm just like proper. I'm female anatomy walking around. So anything goes. What in the world? I'm sorry. Call me, just as I see in my dreams a lot of times, and Uncle Tom as much as you want. Call me a coconut, an Oreo, for ending up with a white man, okay? Like, I don't care. I just don't care. Oreo by somebody lacking context and understanding. Then be subjugated to the tyranny of this perpetual rape in the black community. Because the only time it appears to stop is when a woman is married. It looks like Ntwena is going to be pursuing me all the way up until I walk down the aisle to my husband. All the way until I'm finally a married woman. So I guess we all ought to feel very sorry for single women. Because they're the ones that you are ravenously just pouncing on. Married women tend to be protected by mere virtue of the fact that they're married. These guys, but the rest of us, just like this dude that works for my mom, is like, Hana bophelo mos. So I'll take it. And that dude raped me in my dream. The other time he was just hovering around me. So what, he just goes home and starts to think about me and says, Mara, she's pretty. Why are you looking at me like that, yo? You work for my mom first and foremost, and you're not in my league. You're not the kind of guy I would ever be with. Coupled with the fact that physically, he's scrawny, he's short, he's just all different kinds of weird stuff. But you see, when a woman is struggling, when a woman is suffering, and it's what I keep saying in my ministry, these guys don't care about things that would make it very taboo for them to be with you. It's just a matter of how they just have this mindset of mos. But so what? Like, nothing's coming. How? No one loves a mos. So you just experiment with spiritual psychosis. You experiment with weapons of warfare. And this little idiot prospered to rape me in my dream after inducing a sleep paralysis. He is so incontinent that he excels in his incontinence. Even the psychopathic freak that has been stalking me for 2.5 years from the US. Because that one paralyzed my body. And when I begged him not to rape me in my dream, he left me alone. So this one here from South Africa, from around these streets, a guy that has been all up in my grill in a great deal of sorrow. That dude has induced in my life, and just felt like pursuing me with a whole bunch of voodoo for almost 3 years. And last night, I was shown someone who is worse than him. He just went in for the kill because I was in sleep paralysis. The sleep paralysis of which was induced by his witchcraft. I'm a Christian, I'm always praying, I'm always fasting. So if I'm going to get that attacked in a dream, it means that this person paid a hefty sum to some silly sangoma, and they're using a kind of sorcery that frankly, I have, like, I don't know, I've dealt with it before, but not so much. Like, I don't know, but it just, the climate of fasting and praying that I'm in right now was not enough to prevent me from getting raped in my dream. I suppose the rape is not so much a question of what spiritual war you're in and how you are trying to conquer it, but a question of the individual in question's character. It is the man, it is the person that can pin a woman down and just have their body. I've only ever been raped by 2 guys in my dreams. Everybody else seems to be insistent upon my consent. They seduce me until I sleep with them. And it's only ever happened twice. So I'm starting to think that the rape is not so much a spiritual thing, because yes, you can conquer the spiritual war after being harassed sexually in your dreams by continuing to pray and fast. But when certain activity happens, it only displays the character of a person. It's the kind of person that you can hang out with, thinking that you're good peoples, imagining that you're safe in their company, and then next thing they pin you down. Listen, I had a friend some years ago. A lot of people betrayed me, including her, but we shall not throw away a woman's trauma just because in and of herself she turned witch. She got raped, and it was not expected that this would happen, because the person who raped her was, never mind trusted, but came highly recommended by everybody else in the room as a good guy to hang out with. You know, you imagine that just because it's somebody's boyfriend, your best friend's boyfriend's friend, your best friend's boyfriend's best friend, that when the 2 of them go and buy booze and leave you and him behind to continue chatting, that you're safe. You're just chatting, only for this guy to pin you down and rape you. Like, there are, like, Papa, I guess the only reason why a woman would be in the same room as someone that ends up raping them is that they develop so much trust. And like, imagine, they imagine that not this, never, like, it just does not cross your mind. I don't know how many times in my life I have been with guys that I was basically leading on back before I got saved, and I'd be out here making out with them knowing that I'm not gonna have sex, and I'd let them touch me and grope me and do all different kinds of stuff, knowing that I'm gonna say, you don't get to take off my pants. I was risking my life, I know that now, but I only did that and let them on, got them to the point of disappointment at the nth degree, because I trusted that this guy, no matter how sexually charged he might be, is not going to rape me, because I imagined myself a good judge of character. I imagined myself a good judge of character, or him can't be. I mean, why would a guy like you, that I would consider talking to, rape a woman? I don't roll these streets with stupid guys that rape. I don't. And I, yes, was right. Like, the whole time I was right. I used to lead guys on, and they never just went in for the kill anyway, because, I mean, we have come this far, might as well just finish it. No one's ever just finished what it is that we started when I said stop. Like, I don't know what the heck is going on with South Africa. I just don't know. I can't say what I have no clue what in the world is going on. But ever since coming to Christ, there's just so much rape that I don't even know what it's witchcraft, okay? I had a friend that got raped by some dude that was the friend of her friend's boyfriend. And the 2 of them were left together ever so briefly, and he just pinned her down. So I had a field day with her. She was shocked out of her mind, did not report it to the police, left it a secret between her and whatever. Only to blurt it out one night in a drunken stupor that I've been raped. And all that sorrow. And I was beside myself with sadness. Next morning I call her and she gives me the whole details, and I'm like, are you gonna do anything about it? Have you done anything about it? And she was like, whatever, let's just let it go. Maybe that's why these guys graduate to rape so easily. women just, they let it go. They let it go. Hanging out with men that you think you can chill in your kitchen drinking juice, and when he comes onto you and you say no, John, he'll just be like, okay, cool. Except he doesn't say okay, cool. But I mean, at that particular juncture, he's in your house, your screams are muffled, nobody's gonna hear you, your neighbors are like proper, like, so you just have to deal with the fact that somebody is going to do and you trusted them enough to let them come into your house and then they rape you. This little bug has been walking up and down my mom's yard for years. And in my dream, I told him, please don't rape me, in a sleep paralysis, and he just went in for the kill. He's one of those. I wouldn't be surprised if he has pinned someone down in the past and gotten away with it. It's his character. What was coming out in my dream was his character. What was being shown in my dream is that he's a sexual deviant, and yet he's walking around. He's walking around. How many women does he have on his rap sheet that he just decided that I'm gonna take this, like it or not? Like I said, I have dreamed many a time of a whole bunch of silly men. Me having sex with them in dreams. It's their korobela, it's their temptation spells. But you see, rape is not a temptation. Rape is a grabbing in spite of a lack of temptation, in spite of a resistance of temptation, in spite of there being no feelings. I felt nothing for this guy. I don't feel anything. I'm not charged by him. I'm not attracted. There's nothing about him that I find attractive. And in my dream, he capitalized on my sleep paralysis and just raped me. South Africa, like yazini guys, I could say, I don't know. If you are not besotted with korobela, where you are trying to influence a woman to be with you even though she would not have considered you without spiritual manipulation, you are just taking it anyway through rape because it's your character. I am blessed because I've got a spiritual gifting. I see these things. So now I know that this guy is something that I should be really, really wary concerning. Like, he's a dangerous freaking man. And he's been walking around my mom's yard all these years. There is a project that my mom, one last one, that she wants to do. That is involving this guy. But based on what? Like, how can I tell my mom, please don't let this guy ever come back again? How? How? Seeing as my family hate my spiritual gifting. Seeing as my family cannot stand my life in Christ. They despise my Messiah and that which he has given me for a gift. So I can't warn them about people that are dangerous potentially. I can't warn them about potentially dangerous people based on dreams, based on my spiritual gift, just to say, this one is not giving. Hire someone else. Please get another contractor. There are plenty of guys chilling at Builder's Warehouse that can do carpentry. Not this guy. Don't ever give him work again. Because he's literally trying to devour one of your daughters whole, taking for granted that you, as a mother, have dropped the ball. Taking for granted that you, as a family, have left one of your own out on a limb. He is a predator. How do I tell my mom to not ever accommodate this guy's presence or company again? How do I even begin to highlight that? How do I even begin to raise that? This guy. Because of my car being stuck. And my car was stuck 2 years ago. And you're not 2 years ago your thing. He was like, what's going on with your car? ABC. Told him, he was like, okay, next time I come, I'll have your back. And then I see the dream. Thankfully, what contract he had with my mom was quickly snuffed out. So it's like God was like, hey, her mom is going to change her mind about that job. And you're not going to come back to essentially walk in your witchcraft. Now 2 years have progressed. And there's one last project outstanding that my mom wants to do. And she wants to hire this guy. I'm gonna pray. Will have wasted le 1,000 yakhe, the 2,000, however much he paid that sangoma, it'll just go down the drain. My mom will call him and be like, sorry, I'm not doing this project anymore. Or sorry, I'm delaying it 5 months. Or sorry, I'm like proper. Just someone else. Like what moka I got change her mind higher because it was a better quote. Like there's somebody else that out here does the same thing for better man for I don't know, less, I don't know. Like just I don't ever want to see this guy ever again. This is the second assault on my person. The first one, there was no sexual harassment, only just an imposing of himself on me. Just being around, hoping that I'm gonna see him as something viable. It was a korobela. He was trying ka korobela. Like it was a like me. Look at me and suddenly get a crush. It didn't work because he's whatever, some scrawny little pipsqueak that I could never look at. So since first time, I just crush inducing witchcraft. This time around he just went in straight for the kill, sex, rape, the full throttle. Uzongitata, like it or not. That was this time around's witchcraft. So he's basically deteriorating. He's getting worse and worse. He's getting worse. Lona. We get it, but we've got a predator amidst us. You can't afford to hire this man. You can't afford this man to be walking around in the house mojating. Proper. Black men. Ke sharp ka lona la nkutla. Ke grand. Ke sharp. Hashem no. Yazini. Grand. Like you must understand. Ke grand. Halena maitseo, halesa tseba ho shela, halesa spaya skelem sa kopa di cheru de or di belet lona. You are not interested in trying to see if maybe a woman will be with you. Lenja lena ayikaze ngithi naga one. Seeing as I should intend to exploit the situation, lerata we get the rescuers that's in the rel. You are perpetually organizing little harlequin romances. It is within your prerogative to therefore rock up in these streets, day in, day out, time and time again, and ascertain that a woman takes you, even when you are not take worthy. You have no interest in rejection. You're so proper. You are disinterested in the shock absorber that God gave men to take rejection in their stride, seeing as all throughout your lives you shell out so many women that say no. God gave you a shock absorber to deal, to not go home and pine about it, to basically go on to the next one afterwards. You are stronger than us that way. Tina, when we love a guy and he doesn't want us, we can cry for 5 months. But y'all, you shell out a chick, she's like, no, Sasa, you're on to the next one. God gave you strength. He gave you deep fib. He defibrillates the living dead out of you like, clear, you come back up again. Wale aina, clear, you come back. Ingati nothing ever happened. And you forget about it because tomorrow you're with Tsukhufazzo and she was cool. If there are 7 leratos, you are cool with the fact that ultimately there is that one Tsukhufazzo. So you don't care that God gave you defibrillators. You don't care that God gave you some kind of an ability out of rejection. You don't care. You don't care that you're stronger than women when it comes to taking rejection in romance. For you, what God gave you as an inbuilt shock absorber is not good enough. You want everyone to say, hey, I'll be with you. What the heck? I'm done, you're bored, man. Just go die. Like I'm done. Hi, yo. This guy is so ridiculous. Uyazi ukuthi man, it's a tall order. It's a stretch, he knows. Mara, that's the thing, anandaba. Like the way that you so trust witchcraft, ne, black men. Kanguti no Beyonce ngam tall. The way ni tembe ngakona. When something is such a tall order that you test it anyway, you might as well just go. Nilandu nomza mombata. Go and fetch Jessica Ngosi, your local celebrity crush. Baladeng. Are you sure you believe that this thing can give you anything you want? Cause proper mina no nomza mombata, the only difference between us is the fact that I'm just a regular Jane, whereas she's in the entertainment industry. God, but she's also a beautiful woman There's some dudes out there be spazzing over on the side of the street. So if you feel like you can grab me, if at all you can think it's bizarre, tall order, random pipsqueak in the streets of Soweto gathering dust to pursue Unomzam, even when she is going through a lot. Why are you trying with me? Kunabafazi that are just ungrabbable. Nina enigoge amat gloves in order to ascertain that I'm born because you are using magic. You just go for the kill. There is no difference between your victims and other women, other than perhaps their socioeconomic standing. You all need carry-ons in the wilderness. You need carcasses, because you're vultures, you are scavengers. You need something to be dead. You need something to be, you need the situation or the circumstance to be dead. There must be something ebolang that's putrefying in order for you to go in for the kill. So nyabazwela abafazi abahle abazwe uhlungu because of inhlupheko or abuse or abandonment, neglect, temporary unemployment, ngiyabazwela. Kusho ukuthi abazali akwamelanga ukuthi bayo bhebha abafazi bakhona, abantwana abahle, girls. God forbid should you as a mother pass away when your daughter is just 13. Alemupila. Khosenantate, khosenanghono, khosenamut. God forbid. Hey Baton, God forbid this girl should be a South African black girl. God forbid. Because you just look at someone and say, ah no, unzwembu muhle nfuthi akunamuntu onenaba naye. So you just grab nje. You just take. La greep sa fela ngare le brigile le batho. It's so easy. It's so easy. Akuna mehluko, do you understand? Between abafazi, nemali, between women that have money, women who have jobs, women who are strong, who have got strong protective family structures, and the women that are struggling, other than those socioeconomic conditions, in totality and in their entirety, nabo banama values, nabo banama tastes, banama type, believe it or not. Basically, I'm a daughter that they're prepared to be with versus not. Banama preferences, and banama pet peeve, banama personality. In their stride versus not. They have dreams and hopes and ambitions. It's just that they're unfortunately victims of their circumstance. Abakwazi ukufunda even though bayafuna. So akuna mehluko between yena nomuntu oqeda ukugraduate from BCom Accounting University. No difference other than enablement. So if umfazi oyi-one in two different women have the exact same convictions concerning what in the world must go up or down in this world, kaze why ningahloniphi niyadelela man, why lesa hlompe osa nang next o sotlegang la bona hore ha le tshepe witchcraft ya lona boloi bo ba lona hore ha le botshepe la bona ha le botshepe ka nnete, because in order for bona hore bo sebetse it appears you are in dire need hore motho aska ba le next. It's like you know that you need to help your little devil. You need to help your Satan. You gotta give him a helping hand, man. You gotta push him along like toothpaste out of a tube. Tshwanetse le lo kena mo maphelong a batho ba tlhopegileng. Tshwanetse le lo ravaza ditšhere tse tlhalefileng mara tse sa kgoneng go bala ko sekolong. Tshwanetse le lo ba lata ba qeta go tlhokafelwa ke batswadi. You gotta fetch them bangena bantu bangathandwa. Banama rivalries nama siblings wabo. Bangena anybody having their back. Noma banama virtues, noma banama values, noma banama ho ama breki. Bana le di comma le di full stop batho bana. Bana le punctuation mo di sentencing tsa bona. Ga ba etse nje fela anything in these streets just because circumstance ya bona ya ba ravas. Mar ga se ke go ba tsaya ka tsunami ka nkan. Ga ke se go ba batla ka nkan le reva koloi e sa batleng go qala. Most strating le batla ba forced go ba lenke because bona in particular in comparison to all thotseng bursary or scholarship or gonwa teng mo patalletse di school fees kaofela ya yena o dutse go hae ha go lo bala comparison. That's the difference. There is no other differentiation other than their socio-economic circumstances. He will take up the cause of the widow and of the orphan. Do you understand? Essentially, the father to the fatherless is he. He takes over. Because yalabafazi bangakwazi ukuzisiza la empilweni ngoba kubhidliziwe all over the show, kushonelwe abazali. Akunamuntu. There's those anina nhlonipho maniyanda lisile. Kuchore ngwana wangwanyana. Ke ha aga khosa difinga tsa hae ngwana batho. Hore a ska tlhokafallwa ke batswadi or a ska lahlegelwa ke dichomi hore mosebetsi. And hape kuchore ngwana wanyana ke ha ka khosa difinga tsa hae hore a tswalwe ile scope. She gotta be born either ugly or super protected. Kodwa, this world is not a utopia. Unfortunately, everything is fallen. It's very sad, isn't it? Adam and Eve fell, and ever since then, everything has just gone awry. Aguna peace, aguna pomolo between us, rahlanya as a human race. So, bana maseya, atlahella. Kumatlung mo melentate, ba tlhokafala in a car accident. Motho ke se babola se seng se ntsweng bo se tlonne se shebilwe ka litlho leo ke uncle ya teng. Sorry for that poor girl. Uba uthi inherit ama hips wama. Little pouty lips ezikababa abashonile ngoba lobuhle bakhe buzomdlwengulisa isatan of an uncle. Ke maswabi hore lefatshe le jwalo maranna ke iphile modimo. Ke ha le ka tswa monna le balang ha le tlonka nje fela le tletse ka go kata all over the show ya dlwengula ne thata yonke into ne ifunayo ha ona anything ele fang di brig ha ona di ho ha ona robot ha ona stop sign ha ona yield ha ona cul-de-sac ha ona T junction wena wa tsamaya fela 240 degrees kilometers an hour mo highwaying ha o shebe left and right or ona le eng ha gona speed bump ha ona ntho go stopang ereng ho wa tswela pele fela o tsa anything mo strateng mo, because that's who you are. You are hedonistic. You are lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. Lenka engwe lengwe ntho and a go botlhoko jwanong ha ngwana a tswetse a le mopila a lo tlhokomelwa ke rabishe jwalo ya cousin. It's unfortunate that my life had to turn up like this, but I guess that's why I'm an advocate and a protagonist for such a struggle as this. That's why I'm spearheading this movement, this anti-Korobela movement, this desire to literally get legislation raised up in the nation to stop men from using Korobela on women. Like, stop! Just like it. I do not know why black men feel as if though it's okay to basically lose your vocal cords, be unable to speak, and so therefore because you're now mum, go on right ahead and just take what you want anyway, ka sign language, hoping that women are just gonna understand it. This guy, perhaps he does know that it's a tall order. I would have to be in a trance, I'd have to be duped, I'd have to be mesmerized by a spell to so much as listen to him for any like amount of time at all that is decent and lookable. So he figured that he's just gonna go in for the kill. And you know what I find strange about his witchcraft is the fact that he knows he's operating within a window of time. He can't just frequent my mom's yard. He can't just hang around my mom's yard when there is no work for him here. So we that last final project. That's when he's going to do what? I don't know. I can't tell my mom, don't let him come. All I can do is shuffle around in my body around him, just basically avoid him. Kidumedi, say hi bye. Pass him shade, don't talk too much. And every single time, the thing that he uses is my car. The last time he was here, my car was also stuck. But I finally got money and I serviced my whole vehicle and changed my entire battery. Unfortunately, my battery can die in 2 years because of the fact that my car every so often is just like stationary. And you know that's what happens. When your car's stationary, a battery, if you don't just keep on revving and charging your car, blah, 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 it'll just die. So I should have been responsible to not let my battery die. But sometimes I'm just so inebriated with sorrow that I cannot go focus on things like, oh, make sure that the car's running at least 20 minutes a day or 20 minutes a week or whatever. I just don't have time for that. So sometimes I go in my car and voila, it's dead. And also the thing that's kind of killed my car is me working in it, me opening my door. So therefore the lights are on, but without my battery, without the car running while I do my videos in there, and it charges battery, and if I don't reboost it like immediately, the battery just dies. So it was my fault that I let my car battery die. But I was not, look, I get to make mistakes, but not have people then suddenly pounce on that mistake and imagine it's their avenue of entry into my particular life. It's almost as though this guy believes that my car has been sitting stationary this whole time since the last time he was here. Because last time he was here, my battery was dead. And this time around as well, my battery is dead. But there was a time in the center where I did get my own car serviced. So we dreadza hore, he's just telling himself, Guti, kita lukisa something ya haye. And then she will start to look at me that way. Men, you know what? You all need to get understanding, alright? You need to get understanding. If you want to help a woman with something, by all means do you. It's chivalrous, it's dead these days, so when you walk in it, you do something very rare in comparison to everybody else. But do not anticipate that a woman owes you anything when you pull a favor for them. If you lack masculinity to a point of enabling the cause of women, whether or not you get anything from them, walk out of the room in that minuscule, emasculated state that you are in, and admit that you only do women favors in exchange for sex. At least be bold enough to make like King Andrew Tate and confess that you just use women for sex. They're just there for body parts. At least when you confess to being a jerk, you are not going to lamb-based harass a woman with some witchcraft because you offered to look into that bonnet of hers to figure out what's going on with the vehicle. Yo, I know what's wrong with my car. I don't need a man to tell me that. It, however, helps when one insists on helping me along anyway. If you have some big, fat, chunky secret that you can think of on the left and on the right as to what really, truly is the cause here with my vehicle, then by all means. The other day when he was here, he was talking to me about how it is that among the other little side hustles that he's got is servicing vehicles. So if this dude wants to quote me, you know, a reasonable fee, I would not expect him to do anything for me for free in comparison to everybody else, and therefore service my vehicle. I will save money on a regular price tag that would come on a vehicle service. But do not imagine that because you did something mannish all up in my grill, I now have to consider your gonads with heft. I now have to consider you a man with testicular heft so voluptuous that I will all of a sudden go and grab a man that I know for a fact is married with children right next to, you are my mom's carpenter, you are some pipsqueak oskroni, omukhutwane osangtwaneling, that has only ever had access to a woman of, yes, my caliber, because you worked for my mom. It's a tall order, dude. So please, just like, oskazam. But just because you have made observations of the indiscretion of my family, you then start to think, Guguti, I'm gonna humor you and see you as one who is walking around with testicular heft. Just cause you jump-started my car, just cause you serviced my vehicle for a small fee, just cause, like proper, this guy must go, cause first of all, my car doesn't need a service. It's been sitting around for a minute, not going anywhere. I don't really need an oil change. I just need a brand spanking new battery. I know everything that's wrong with my car. Spark plugs are as good as new. Oil is as good as new. Oil filter was changed 2 years ago, but listen, I drive my vehicle out literally in a year, maybe like 12 times, like once a month. So everything is as good as newly serviced. Every so often I would need to, of course, run it, but when my car gets stuck, I tend to know exactly what's going on over there. I tend to know. There was a time when my vehicle was struggling to go up a mountain, so I knew that I needed to, spark plugs. My brakes were giving me some strange little funny issue. I needed brake fluid. I needed this. I knew. You see, when you're suffering as a woman, when you live in a country like South Africa, as a black woman, dealing with exploitative creeps, you teach yourself a couple of things. Stuff you would not under normal circumstances know. Listen, I'm the kind of woman that travels around all over this Johannesburg if I am traveling. Gas goop, 5 liter. Because I have been trained, unfortunately, by poverty, adversity, to keep one in my boot. Because I've been driving around on reserves. I never would have done that before. I never would have traveled my vehicle around the streets of Johannesburg on reserves when I was employed. My tank of gas was always either half or full, barely ever even a quarter in. Because I feel like full. I was good. But adversity taught me how far my car can go when the little flashing thing, petrol, is no longer there. When the last bar is gone, I know how many kilometers I can travel from that space. I know how many trips I can make, how many return trips I can make. I've made calculated guesses to a point where there was a time when I drove all the way to Wits on those fumes, parked my car. When I went back to my car to try and go home to Four Ways where I stayed, my car was dead. No petrol. I had to walk to Four Ways from Wits University. Yes, I used Jan Smuts Avenue. Ele that ultimately becomes William Nicol. I used that road all the way up until Four Ways. I was out of my mind, exhausted at the end of it all. And then when I got to Four Ways, then I slept, of course, the next day. I went to Cash Converters, which was down the road from my apartment. Sold something in my apartment that came up to $200. Took a taxi to Wits. Took a taxi to school, essentially to downtown Joburg, and then I walked to Wits, Mandela Bridge and everything. This was at the beginning of my sorrow. I was still a registered student at Wits, and I used their internet because I didn't have my own Wi-Fi. That's why I was at Wits. Yeah. Then I walked to Garage, that is on Empire Road, right opposite the school. But first I have to go to my car, get my skupu. 50 batele skupu to the nth degree. I not only have a skupu in my car, but I also have a funnel. Yeah, Coca-Cola bottle. Because I was trained. I was stuck on the side one time, and one guy taught me how to pour gas into my car from a scoop. And ever since then, not from the street king, garage attendant, 2 seats. And to something you'll tell OC. I was like, what do you mean? Isn't the scoop not going to be enough? He's like, no, you need something to put in that little hole. Yeah, and then tell her. Then pour. This dude trained me up, and ever since then, I have had that scoop. I bought that scoop, 5 liter, on the day, right next to the Coca-Cola thing that he sakhad with like a knife, something that he had go garaging. He cut it for me, and he was like, take this is how you're gonna pour gas for yourself. And I poured it right there on the side of the street, and then I was able to drive my vehicle to the garage to pour the rest of the petrol, however much money I had. So I did the same thing at Wits. Poured the petrol from the scoopu into my vehicle, and then drove to the garage to pour another $100. Then only did I drive my vehicle to my apartment in Four Ways. But overnight, it parked at Wits University. It was the grace of God. The fumes I was running on, I was stretching myself to see how much further they can go, because I was always so scared, trepidatious, that I'm gonna get stuck. And I pushed myself until I parked at Wits. And I thought that my car would take me back to Four Ways. It didn't. It got stuck, and I walked home. I stayed at Wits all night in the computer labs, watching YouTube videos, exhausted out of my mind. And as soon as the sun rose and it was 9 a.m., I started to trek Comrades Marathon, Jan Smuts Avenue, becoming Willem Nicol, until I got home on foot. You tell me how many kilometers that is. I was so drained that I stopped at some mall, went in the bathroom, and took a nap. Then I finished my journey. By the time I got home, it was afternoon, seeing as I started my walk in the morning. The whole time when I was walking, I just looked like some student walking back home, but nobody knew that I was walking literally from Wits University to Fourways, to Lone Hill in Fourways. That's what I've been through. So that kind of hardship has taught me a couple of things about some cars. It's taught me what to do in certain instances. It's taught me what to ask for garaging. It's taught me not so much how to change a tire. That I have not had to do by myself. But I've been helped along by guys, especially petrol attendants, quite a few times. Enough for me to know more or less what's wrong with my car when certain things go awry. So I don't need some lackluster buffoon who has seen a woman suffering for all these years to rock up all up in my grill and save the day because he made an observation that my car is stuck. Right now, my car, stuck as it is, Mocharateng, is like my car being stuck at Wits University. It's safe. It's in a parking bay and I've got a student permit. So nobody's going to be towing my car or clamping it. You don't need to move it. It is not a priority. I will move it in my good jolly time. I will move it when I have gotten my 200 rand that I hustled from cash converters by selling my vases. And then I will take a taxi to downtown Joburg, walk to Wits University, grab my scoopoo, and then pour petrol in my own car, drive my own vehicle to the garage to finish pouring however much I want to pour, and then drive my car to my apartment and then never take that risk again. That's how I am. So I've always just, basically the lines have always fallen for me in pleasant places, just like it's written in God's word. If my car is chilling, parked, I'm not frazzled because I am aware of the fact that it's safe. I've gotten so many people ask me, especially like ADT guys, patrol dudes, that every so often check out what's going on in the neighborhood. Ma'am, we are 10 years and imoto. Are you selling your car or what? Are you selling your car or what? How, I got asked that by ADT guys, a couple of them that patrol this complex. I've also been asked that by one of the construction workers. So my mom once asked me if I'm selling my car. You know why? Because it's filthy, it's dirty, it's literally, it looks like nothing's great, like that it has not moved in a very long amount of time. Also, there was a time when my tire was completely flat on the ground and I did not see it fit to bump it up, to change the tire, put a biscuit on there, because yeah, guy,